Welcome to the foreclosuredeals.com video guide on Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. In this video, we will share a brief history of these two GSEs, or government-sponsored enterprises, what they were created for, and the recent changes they've experienced due to the 2007-2008 housing market crisis. We will also explain the requirements necessary to purchase foreclosures from either entity and where to find the most recent listings for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac foreclosure deals. Fannie Mae, an acronym for the Federal National Mortgage Association, or FNMA, was created in 1938 during the Great Depression under President Roosevelt's New Deal package. Its initial purpose was to encourage growth in the secondary mortgage market by buying up mortgages in bulk from savings and loan associations and other depository institutions, and then reselling them to brokers, mortgage bankers, and other primary mortgage lenders. These institutions, in turn, could offer cheaper homes to a recovering economy, ensuring that more Americans nationwide could own their own homes, thus providing stability and liquidity to the housing market. By 1968, Fannie Mae had become a monopoly over the private industry due to its government agency status. Therefore, President Johnson privatized Fannie Mae in order to distance it from the government and allow for a more competitive playing field. However, even though it was now considered a private lending institution, Fannie Mae retained its government backing, which still gave it a considerable edge over the rest of the private industry. Because it could borrow money at a much lower rate, Fannie Mae could buy up large numbers of mortgages on foreclosed homes and properties, as well as other mortgages from commercial lenders, and provide them at much lower prices. Also, the U.S. government's guaranteed backing of Fannie Mae debt prompted investors to confidently buy the company's stock. In 1970, the Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation, or Freddie Mac, was created to provide competition to Fannie Mae. It was also established as a GSE with the benefits of government-guaranteed backing, along with its ability to borrow at low interest rates, and, along with Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac was able to supply low-interest loans to mortgage lenders, thus providing more available and affordable housing. From 1970 onward, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac dominated the secondary housing market and together provided tens of millions of affordable homes to Americans. By 2008, at the beginning of the housing market collapse and foreclosure crisis, the two powerhouses together owned or guaranteed roughly half of the United States' $12 trillion mortgage market. Due to the 2007-2008 collapse of the housing market, the U.S. Treasury Department placed Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac into conservatorship under the FHFA, or Federal Housing Finance Agency, in September of 2008 in order to guarantee their combined losses of $14.9 billion and to steady shaky market concerns. Because of their new governmental conservatorship status, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are now run much like HUD, or the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Buying properties through Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac is an excellent way to attain great deals and save money on foreclosure homes and properties. Because these institutions only have to recover a portion of the property's actual appraised value to cover their debts due to their access to low interest rates, savings of anywhere from 10 to 50% can be realized by anyone interested in purchasing foreclosed properties. Once all repayment options have been exhausted on a home which Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac have participated in, the mortgage holder forecloses on the property and the property reverts back to the GSE's ownership. The property is then handed over to a realtor who provides them with a broker's price opinion and repair recommendations. A certified appraiser provides a valuation of the property. Once these items are received, the company then places the property up for sale via a silent auction. One of the best ways to find these real estate deals is to consult a listing service, which makes it easy to locate these properties in specific areas. Listing services allow you to preview properties whereby you can browse, cull, and prioritize potential interests. Also, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac foreclosures go fast, so locating newly listed properties through an updated listing service provides an edge over other buyers. Home seekers and investors alike should adhere to the following steps when preparing to purchase Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac foreclosure properties. 1. Narrow your list of potential properties down to a few of the best selections. 2. Obtain as much information as you can about the properties and their sales. You can usually get sufficient information through a listing service. 3. Personally visit the properties in order to assess their conditions. 4. Note any additional costs which might be needed for repairs and handiwork and add these amounts to the expected sale price. And 5. Submit a written bid on the property to Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac through a qualified real estate agent. The bottom line of what you are trying to achieve as a foreclosed property buyer is to maximize the amount of profit that exists between what you actually pay for the property at auction and what you should receive according to its appraised value on the open market minus estimated repair costs. As a homeowner, the extra money can be used for home improvements, refurnishing the home, a new car, or college tuition for children. As an investor, this amount is profit which can be enjoyed or reinvested into more lucrative real estate deals. There are specific requirements which buyers of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac properties must meet and present at the sale of such properties. The buyer must provide a pre-qualification letter from a reputable lender. They must also submit a standard, filled out and signed offer to purchase contract. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac also require that language from their own purchase addendum be written into the offer of purchase contract. Also, a copy of the addendum's directions, which is signed by both the buyer and the buyer's agent, must accompany the package. The purchase addendum is a legal documentation which presents the parameters and guidelines for those purchasing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac properties. The addendum basically states that a property purchased from Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac is received as is. This protects the institution from any future issues which may arise concerning its condition. This is done because the properties are not actually viewed by personnel of the institution, although each company makes an effort to provide resale foreclosures in reasonable condition. The responsibility of inspecting and accepting the home is left to the buyer. A copy of the purchase addendum can be found via online search or through Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac websites. The addendum also provides instructions to both individual home buyers and investors. Initial offers for a property should be submitted in writing, although both institutions accept verbal negotiations. Once a selling price is agreed upon, the buyer has 10 days to complete all inspections of the property and respond back with their intentions to follow through or rescind the offer. If the buyer accepts, then the closing process commences and the home is considered under contract. Although cash payments are preferred from individual home buyers, the company will accept other forms of payment, such as home warranties, down payment assistance programs, and seller-paid closing costs. There are some special requirements for investors who purchase Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac foreclosures. Investors are to place 10% of the purchase price into earnest funds at the time of offer. Also, a deed restriction is placed on the property which states that the buyer cannot resell the property for more than 120% of the purchase price for a period of 3 months after the purchase date. This concludes the foreclosuredeals.com video guide on Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. To receive the latest news on the real estate industry, follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn, or Facebook. You can also follow our RSS feed. If you would like to know more about Fannie Mae foreclosures or Freddie Mac foreclosures or foreclosures in general, visit foreclosuredeals.com. If it's not a deal, we won't list it here.